I've been playing tennis for over 30 years, and I've hit some really bad tennis shots in that time. But 2 weekends ago, when I was with my 4-5 team at sectionals for USTA, I hit what's probably the worst miss of my life. And I'm going to show it to you right now and unpack it and tell you 5 lessons that I learned from it. I've had 2 weeks to I've had 2 weeks to process this and kind of go over, talk it through with my partner, who is Scott, aka Angry Old Man. Let me walk you through the scenario here. Scott and I are playing number 2 doubles. This is me serving, this is Scott. We very quickly lost on 3 doubles next to us. 2 doubles right here. We can tell number 1 doubles right here. We're 2 doubles. This was 1 doubles. Looks like they're struggling, and they lost the first set, and they're behind in the second set. And number 1 and number 2 singles down on this bank of courts has won. So it's about to be 2-2 in the match, and we're about to be the last match on. So whoever wins our match is going to win the team, win the team match. And Scott and we won the first set, and I'm serving at 5-4 in the second set to win the match, and I'm serving at 40-30. So this is match point with this scenario in mind that this is probably going to be for the match. Here's the point at 40-30.
Yep.
Just absolutely painful watching it back. Now, in truth, watching it back, it felt to me after missing this shot. You can obviously tell like where I'm going here, where my plan is. This was the weaker of the 2 opponents. I got like the highest, easiest ball ever. My plan is to go at his feet, and I hit it in the net. And I just kind of like stop and stare. This is on match point. I really, honestly, in the moment, kind of can't believe it. It felt to me in the moment like I hit it just the way I wanted to, right in the direction I wanted to. I didn't feel tentative or tight at all. I didn't feel like I choked. And yet, I just somehow found a way to hit this easy of a shot in the net on match point, where Scott and I are serving for the team match. Now, 5 lessons here. Lesson number 1. I want you to watch Scott's reaction here. I'm going to play through. There's a couple more seconds here. I want you to watch Scott's reaction. He just went to get the ball, and watch my reaction. Okay, so watch the 2 of us. Keeping in mind the situation, the scenario. I'll play the shot again. I want you to watch Scott's response and reaction, and then watch the 2 of us together after I miss the shot. So, is there any indication here with our body language, with Scott's reaction to the miss, my reaction to the miss, our communication, walking away? Is there any indication at all what just happened? Frankly, I'm really proud of both of us for responding in this way after like a terrible miss in a terrible position, situation. I won't ruin the rest of the match. Well, in a minute here, I'm going to tell you kind of what the outcome was. If you like watching the match play, well, I'll be posting it and doing commentary about it. So if you don't want to spoil it, then my last point here, maybe skip that. But my first 2 points, I've got 5 kind of key takeaways here. Takeaway number 1 is Scott just business as usual. He made there was zero response, 0 reaction that made it look like he was disappointed or he was angry or it was a letdown or there was like any negativity at all. He just totally took it in stride. Lesson number 2 is I somehow managed to do the exact same thing. And I honestly, in hindsight, I'm super proud of myself. More than anything in the moment, I remember just being kind of shocked. Like what? How? Like everything felt good. Like it all went according to plan. Like the point, and like that was supposed to be it. Like the match was supposed to be over, and yet it wasn't. And I missed the shot. And so number 3 takeaway is I realized that there were some tweaks and kind of adjustments that I could make to optimize from there. Now, Had Scott blown up about it and been negative, like hung his head, had I blown up about it and been like, in any number of ways, either angry and like exploding and being like throwing my racket, or going like super dark, like internally being really emotionally distant and being depressed and being like, holy crap, I just totally blew it, for the team. I blew it for my partner. If any of those types of responses happened, the odds of me making positive adjustments moving forward would have been almost zero. The emotional toll would have been too much to be clear-headed, to be clear-minded, to think through logically and make practical, productive kind of adjustments. But I was able to. Moving on, I realized that I was getting a little tight in my service motion. I won't give away any more for now about the match, but I loosened up more on the serve, started serving a little bit better after that point. And that's number 3. Takeaway is, even after a bad miss, you can still move on. It's not easy. It's much easier said than done, but this should be your goal. Move on and optimize from there. What adjustments can I make? What tweaks can I make to have better chance of having better performance moving on from here? Number 4, I had to fight to continue to refocus my energy and attention towards the task at hand. A few minutes later, number 1 doubles next to us lost. And we knew number 3 doubles lost. And we knew that singles had won. And so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I had that shot to win for the team and win 3-2. There's 5 spots. And Scott and I are the last one on. We won 2, we lost 2, and I had that shot to be the winning, team. This was our last match for sectionals. This is the last match of the whole year for us. And as the match went on, because it didn't finish there, I had to fight internally, emotionally, mentally, to refocus and not let my mind drift to the what ifs. Not let my mind drift to the, if we lose this, how much of an idiot am I going to feel like? How much have I just let down Scott? How much have I just let down the entire, team here if we lose this after I had that shot, for the win? And the match went on for another, probably half an hour after I missed that shot. And I had countless opportunities to get dragged away, mentally, emotionally. And I'm and I had to fight for it. It was a struggle at times to refocus and say, no, I'm just going to focus on this point. What's the best shot I can hit? What's the best target I can aim for? What's the best swing I can make? And be just relaxed and confident, and I need to just keep resetting. Every time my mind would want to go out to the disappointment or the what ifs of if I blew it for the team and all that sort of thing, just reset attention and energy and focus on what really mattered, which was got to just play the next point the best I can. The past is in the past. Much easier said than done, but that's my 4th takeaway from this moment. And again, honestly, I'm very happy with how I did that. I accomplished that, not perfectly, of course, but relative to the, not temptation, but relative to the pull towards the negative, which was very large, maybe the biggest in my tennis career, just in terms of the situation or the scenario and the egregiousness of how big the miss was, possibly the biggest, blown shot of my entire career. I'm really proud of how I handled it. And that leaves me to takeaway number 5. And here's where I'll just kind of say what the result is you can have a terrible miss and a terrible experience in the moment in a tennis match and still win. And Scott and I did win. I got broken in that game after missing that volley on match point, and we went to a third set tiebreaker. I'm sorry, no. Was it third set tiebreaker or just a regular? No, we didn't lose the. Yeah, it was second set tiebreaker. So we went to the second set tiebreaker and won in the second set tiebreaker, 13-11. So all of that time, the rest of the second set tiebreaker up to 13-11, I had, at least, 13-11 plus all those other points, at least 30 or 40 opportunities to just check out mentally and just kind of like buy into the negativity and buy into like the whatever, the disappointment, the depression, the embarrassment, you know, whatever. And I'm really proud of myself, and I'm proud of Scott for the two of us just sticking in there and doing the best we could, point after point after point, for another 30 or 40 points after that. So anyway, that quite possibly the worst miss of my tennis career. And I'm glad you got to see it. And I'm glad we get to learn something from it. Would it have been better had I just made that volley? Yeah, it would have been more satisfying. But in a way, you know, I'm really happy that I came away with these lessons and the experience. So hopefully it was helpful for you to hear some of that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.